Hello everyone. Today's topic is chromatography. The basic idea about chromatography, and we are going to learn about the basic information regarding different types of chromatographic techniques. Chromatography is a separation technique which is used to separate any number of components from the component mixtures. So we have many number of samples, thousands of samples are coming to the laboratories to test, to analyze the samples. So it is very difficult to separate the components by using a single method, separation methods. So we have some other methods like distillation, evaporation, and filtration. Some other methods are there, but this chromatography technique will be useful for all type of samples to be separated. And this chromatography is used in pharmaceutical industries, food industries, and chemical industries. And this is very much important technique that we need to learn today. Chromatography is a technique which is used to separate the components, and it is also useful for identification of the components and purification of the components. So here organic and inorganic compounds and chiral compounds can be easily separated by chromatography, and trace elements or chemicals, preservatives, additives in food items are identified, and some macromolecule like DNA, RNA, protein molecules will be purified, so by using these chromatographic techniques. And this chromatographic technique will be useful in some other fields like DNA fingerprinting, bioinformatics, quality control, etc. So this is the definition of chromatography. So separation of complex mixtures into individual components based on relative affinities towards mobile and stationary phase. So here in this chromatographic technique, we are separating individual components from the complex mixture. So we have the sample that is having many number of component mixtures. So it is very difficult to separate those components from that mixture. So here we are using chromatographic technique, and so we are using two phases here, mobile phase and stationary phase, to separate those individual components from the complex mixture. So we are going to learn how it is happening. So this is the component mixture. Here we have taken ink spot, and that ink spot is getting separated into different colors. So by using chromatography, here we are using two phases. So one is mobile phase and stationary phase. And the sample here is ink spot, which is converting into different colors due to relative affinities of those particular colors towards mobile and stationary phase. So here we can use many number of samples like drug molecules, food particles, plastics, plasticides, air and water samples, etc. So many number of samples that we can get, and we can useful for separating by using this chromatographic technique. And here this is the mobile phase. Here we are taking water as a mobile phase to separate the ink, to separate the component particles which are present in the ink. And some usually we are taking liquid or gas as a mobile phase. Here we are taking a liquid, that is water, to separate the color components present in the ink spot. And one more important requirement is stationary phase. So generally, usually stationary phase will be solid or liquid in nature. Here we are taking a Whatman paper. So this is a paper chromatographic technique. So here we are taking a paper as stationary phase. So on this paper, these ink spot will be separated when it is when we pour mobile phase in it, and the mobile phase will be dissolving the spot, and also it is trying to carry the spot on the paper, and now the ink spot is get separated on the stationary phase, and we can easily see that colors by using visualizing agents, and it will be discussed in the later slides clearly. So this is the classification of chromatography. We have chromatography is classified into two important classes, that is liquid chromatography and gas chromatography, based on the mobile phase used. In liquid chromatography, we are using a liquid mobile phase, and in gas chromatography that we are using gas mobile phase. Okay, and liquid chromatography again subdivided into two parts, so flat chromatography and column chromatography. Here the flat chromatography is a chromatography, so where the separation will be occurred on the flat surface. Okay, for example, paper chromatography. Here we are taking a Whatman filter paper, a flat surface, and second one is thin layer chromatography. Here we take TLC plates, thin layer plates to separate the sample component. And the second one is column chromatography. Here the separation will be occurred in the column. So we are taking the short column sometimes, we are taking a long column sometimes. So the separation will be occurred in column. And here the separation is depending upon different principles. So we have different type of principles here, like adsorption, ion exchange, gel filtration, and affinity. So in adsorption here we have solid stationary phase and liquid mobile phase, ion exchange, gel filtration, and affinity. These are the important principles that we are going to learn in the later slides. And HPLC, so HPLC is abbreviated as high performance liquid chromatography, so which is very advanced techniques. Nowadays we are using this technique for separation of all components, so it is very advanced technique. And first coming to the paper chromatography, so here this is the basic chromatographic technique, so that we are using in the laboratories and quality control labs. So this is the paper chromatography. Here we have taken a Whatman filter paper and we have taken a mobile phase. So as I already told you that we have to use two important requirements. One is mobile phase, one is stationary phase. And here, this is the paper chromatography. Why? Because we are using a Whatman filter paper. We are having many grades of Whatman filter paper, like grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 20, 40, 42. So these are all the different types of or different grades of Whatman filter paper that we are using here. So this Whatman filter paper is used as a stationary phase here, but here, so we are considering the Whatman filter paper as liquid. So this is important point. So why? Because this Whatman filter paper is having 98 to 99 percentage of cellulose fibers, which is containing water molecules. So due to presence of 98 to 99 percentage of water molecule present in the Whatman filter paper, here we are considering this paper as liquid stationary phase. And we have mobile phase. Here we are taking mobile phase is liquid in nature, and usually we are taking organic or buffer solvents as mobile phase for this paper chromatography. And the next one is principle. The principle is the main principle involved here is partition. The sample particles will be separated depending upon their partition coefficient. And here we have two immiscible phases. The stationary phase is liquid in nature, mobile phase is also liquid in nature. So here the sample particles will be separated in between two immiscible phases, then it is called to be partition. So the main principle here is partition. So these are the samples that we are going to that we are separating here by using paper chromatography. So amino acids, carbohydrates, and fatty acids, etc. But here, important thing is we are using some specific agents, detecting agents or visualizing agents to identify that spots. So here we can get the spots, and those spots sometimes are visible. For example, if we take ink, then here we'll get the colors, separated colors with different colors. So we can easily identify it, but sometimes the spot we cannot identify on the paper. So at the time, so we have to use a specific chemical agents, or sometimes we are using some UV chamber method and iodine chamber method. So we are using non-specific methods also to detect or to visualize a particular spot which is present on the stationary phase. The next chromatography technique is thin layer chromatography. So here we have we are using thin layer plates to separate the components. So this is the thin layer plate that we are using here. So this is the important chromatography technique that we are using in research laboratories. And here we are taking the stationary phase as solid. So why? Because we are taking a TLC plate. So usually these TLC plates are made up of glass material, aluminum, plastic materials. But here, important thing is those TLC plate which are coated with silica gel powder. So silica gel powder will be coated on the surface of these glass plates, and it can be used as TLC plates. And we can get this TLC plate commercially in the market also. So here stationary phase is considered as a solid and mobile phase is considered as liquid. Okay. So due to solid liquid chromatography, so here we have a solid stationary phase and mobile phase is liquid. So that's why the partition is not the principle here. Here the principle is adsorption. The sample particles will be adsorbed on the surface of stationary phase. So here we can separate many number of samples by using this TLC. For example, acids, amines, alcohols, and alkaloids. So many types of samples that we can easily separate it. So by using this TLC technique. And here, this is a little time consuming process than paper chromatography, but it is more advantageous than paper chromatography. And here, this stationary phase will be sometimes will prepare in the laboratories by different methods, dipping, pouring method, and some other methods. But spreading method that we are using in the laboratories is very good. So we can get a uniform layer of silica gel, and so thickness will be uniform. So it is more advantageous method than other methods. So this is about thin layer chromatography. The next one is column chromatography. Here, the columns are used to separate the components. So these are the columns. So we are used for the separation of components. So here, column is filled with a stationary phase. Here we are using silica gel powder as a stationary phase. And this silica gel powder is initially filled in the column. And here we are loading the sample. But here the filling of the silica gel will be two types. So wet method and dry method. In wet method, the silica gel powder will be dissolved in soluble solvent and forming a slurry. So that slurry that we are pouring in the column. Okay, so after pouring the slurry, then it will be settled after some time. Then we are loading the sample, and after that we are pouring mobile phase again. And with that mobile phase, here separation will be occurred. See here, the separations will be occurred. Here, two bands, color bands will be produced by adding of mobile phase. Why? Because mobile phase is carrying the samples, and mobile phase is also useful as a developing agent that develops the color bands. So here, this green color components will be separated first, and orange color components will be separated second. So these are called first eluents, and these are called second eluents. So why? Because so this green color, which is having more relative affinity towards mobile phase, so that means it is always trying to go with the mobile phase, and orange color is having more relative affinity towards the stationary phase. It is always trying to stay in the column. So, but we are using mobile phase, so that's why it is also getting eluted. So this is about column chromatography. Here we can use stationary phase solid and mobile phase is liquid. Usually we are using silica gel beads in the column that will be used as a stationary phase. And the mobile phase is liquid. Usually we are taking organic solvents as mobile phase. Sometimes we are taking hydrophilic solvents. Sometimes we are taking uh, hydrophobic solvents. It is depending upon the nature of the sample and the nature of stationary phase that we are taking. Sometimes we are using polar stationary phase, sometimes we are using non-polar stationary phase. But here, so we are taking, mostly we are taking silica gel beads as stationary phase here. So this silica gel is having polar nature. Why? Because silica gel is having selenol groups. So due to presence of selenol group, silica gel is getting polarity. So when we are using polar stationary phase, we have to use non-polar mobile phase. This is the main important condition we need to follow. So while we are performing chromatographic techniques. And the main principle here is adsorption. So why? Because stationary phase is solid. So sample components will be adsorbed on the solid surface. So the principle is adsorption. And this column chromatography is useful for mainly useful for the purification purposes in the laboratories. And sometimes we can also useful for the separation of diastereomers and determination of primary and secondary glycosides, etc. So this is the most widely used technique in laboratories. The next one is ion exchange chromatography. So in this ion exchange chromatography, we are taking resins as stationary phase. So here we have two important resins, anionic resins and cationic resins. Anionic resins will be used to separate a cationic ions which are present in the samples, and cationic resins will be used to separate anionic substances which are present in the sample. Okay, so here mobile phase is sometimes we take acids, alkalis, buffers. And the main principle here is ion exchange. So ions get exchanged here. So here in this picture, so we can see this anionic exchange. Okay. So that means here anions will be exchanged. The sample is containing positive ions and negative ions, but anions, that is negative ion, will be exchanged by using a positive resin. Okay, that is a cationic resin. So here we have taken a cationic resin in the column, and this cationic resin will be useful for separation of anionic anionic components. Okay, so why? Because these positive ions will be attracting negative ions, and initially these negative ions will be attached to the positive ions, and these positive ions which will be repelled by positive resins, and it will be eluted immediately as first eluents, and as second eluents. So these negative ions will be separated by adding of mobile phase. So finally, so we can say the positive resins will be useful for the ion exchange of negative ions which are present in the sample. So in the same way, sometimes we are using negative or anionic resins, so which will be useful for separating positive ions which are present in the sample. Okay, so that's why we have two important principles here: anionic exchange and cationic exchange. So by using this technique, we can perform many experiments like deionization of water. So we can separate organic ions and inorganic ions, and we can isolate some important drugs in pharmaceutical industries. So this is a important chromatography technique, so that we use to separate negative and positive ions present in the sample. And the next one is gel filtration. So this is the important technique. So why? Because here the filtration will be occurred by using of gel. So here the stationary phase is sometimes we are taking solid, sometimes we are taking gel. Here important thing is the filtration process will be occurred in the column. Okay, so due to presence of a gel matrix, so here we are taking a micropore gel, so which is having pores, a small pore size, and it is producing a network like structure. So due to having of network like structure, here the particles of variable sizes. So here we have macro particles and micro particles. So these variable size particles will be easily separated through when it is passing through this network like structure. Here Gel is acting as a stationary phase, and sometimes we also use solid particles for as a stationary phase here. And important thing is here, the small particles will be entrapped here. So this is the principle here. Entrapment of small particles will be occurred due to presence of pores on the surface of this gel here. Usually we are using uh, gels. So these gels are having micropores. So due to presence of micropores here, the sample components of small size will be adsorbed, or sometimes it will be entrapped in the pores, and large size particle will not be entrapped, and they can be easily going towards downward direction by adding of a mobile phase, and it is passing with the mobile phase, and it is reaching to the bottom of the column, and finally it will be eluted as first eluent. And these large size particles or molecules will be going through the white spaces which is present in between the beads or network structure. So it is going through these beads, and it is reaching to the bottom at first as first eluent. So this is the principle that we are using in gel filtration: entrapment of small molecules. So by entrapment of small molecule, here we can achieve the separation process. So this gel filtration is used in pharmaceutical industries for the purification of RNA, DNA, protein molecules, and some other macromolecules. So this is also very much important techniques. So we need to learn. And affinity chromatography here, this is the affinity chromatography. And the main principle here is affinity. That means here we are using a stationary phase. So that is a matrix base. Here we are using a matrix base which are having a specific affinity for the specific components. If you see the picture here, this is the matrix. So immobilized matrix bigs that we are using here, which is having hexagonal shape. And these are the samples we have. The sample components are having different sizes. But if you see, so red color spot is having more affinity towards this matrix bits. So due to affinity, so here these hexagonal spots with hexagonal sample components will be easily attached with the stationary phase matrix beads, and easily we can separate some other compounds which are having other uh, shapes. We can easily separate it out, and after adding of more mobile phase, and these components also will be separated as second eluent. So here we are using a solid stationary phase, that is a matrix base that we are using, which are having a specific affinity towards a specific components. And mobile phase that we are using is ligands. Okay, so and here the principle is biological interaction between two molecules. Here the interaction will be there between target analyte as well as the matrix space which are present in the column. And this affinity chromatography will be useful for separation of nucleic acids, proteins, etc. So this is about uh, a brief introduction of chromatographic techniques. So these are the important chromatographic techniques that we are using in pharmaceutical industries. And this is very much important topic. We need to learn about these techniques. Thank you.